So, Sarwar, what inspired you to start your own business?
Well, that's a very good question. Fundamentally, in this day and age, everyone wants to be self-employed. What actually inspired me more was the fact that from a very young age, seeing others around me struggling, making ends meet, having just a normal 9 to 5 job. I'm a firm believer that when you're working, you should be working to live, not the other way around. Unfortunately, in this day and age, because we are structured by 9 to 5 hours, it allows us to obviously just work and make our ends meet and then rest. That's pretty much what life is. The most inspiration for me was when, from a very young age, I got to go back home to my home country. Now, unfortunately, the country is third world, but they're far more advanced than what we are here. They actually live and not live to work, because when we're over there, they get to go see their friends, their family, but incorporate their actual working life around them. For me, I wanted to be self-employed, more so for the fact that I would be able to spend time with my loved ones, my family, but also be able to have the joys and luxuries of being able to purchase things without the headache of it.
So, what's the main criteria to which you choose your team?
Well, that's a very good question. The structure of a team is very fundamental in a business, especially a small startup business. If you're buying into a franchise, they already have groups that are already built and ready and are ready to walk into the business. With your own personal business, it's very, very difficult. You have to be very selective with who you pick. Now, a lot of times people will say, pick family. Now, the problem with family is it's too close. If you choose your family and there's an issue or something arises, you can have a very, very big dispute. Now, a dispute can be something very small or something very big. When it's with family, something small always becomes big. Therefore, whenever I've done a business with anyone, I've kept it very professional and very cut. The reason why is because you can distinguish between what is work and what is factual and what is actually personal. This is very key and fundamental to your structure of growth as a business. I'll give you an example. If, for example, you were opening up, say, a restaurant and you employed your own members of family. Now, in a restaurant, the fundamental of it is the weekend is the busiest point. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday are always going to be the busiest point. But unfortunately, on the weekend, everyone wants to go out. If you're employed by someone who you see as an authority, and they tell you need to be in Friday, Saturday and Sunday, or even Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is a full weekend, they'll be less likely to ask for a day off or less likely to call in sick. Because again, it reverts back to what inspired me. What inspired me to open the business was to make money, is to grow, develop, to increase wealth, to become established. So with the main criteria when you pick someone is fundamentally being able to have someone that you can trust, you can believe, and someone you can grow with.
So, do you need a relevant degree to create a successful business project?
Yes, you do. Any great business owner or anyone who's employed will agree with that fundamentally and fully 100%. You don't go into something blindsided. If you're wanting to start something up, you need to have passion for it. You need to have a want. You need to have an understanding. I emphasize these words because these are fundamental. You must know what you're going into. You must know every avenue. You don't go into an exam at school not revising. You don't walk in hoping that you will get 100%. You do your background, you do your checks, you do everything what you need to make that business successful. You do every single bit of legwork. I'm very passionate about what I do. When I opened up my business, I had to look at every avenue. I even had to look at the failures. Now, any other business person would probably maybe not admit to this, but you have to. This is what makes your business grow. This is what makes your business strong. Knowing that you're able to fail, knowing that you're able to turn that 180 and continue driving forward. There will be spells, and there always are, where you have dry spells, where money won't be coming in, and you're having to, look at other avenues. This is where networking, not just that, but being relevant to what you know and knowing every scenario that you're able to be in, so therefore you can out with that and progress forward.
What are the key attitudes and approaches required for a successful startup?
Wow, that's a very good question. To break it down in the most simplest way, progression is the most important key factor here. You need to be able to see yourself further developing. If you're waking up in the morning, now a very good friend of mine told me this, and it started off with, to be successful, you must be successful in your day. Doing simple tasks and achieving smaller goals, like waking up, making your bed, starting a day fresh, having a new shirt, making sure your shirt is ironed, making sure that you're presentable every day. All these little things are little goals that help you towards your end result. Structure is very important in what you do. Your attitude will follow in line with it. If you do not feel passionate and it doesn't stir within the belly, your growth will never develop. In order for you to have a successful business, you must be very passionate about it. You must be enthusiastic. You want to go to sleep in order for you to wake up for a new day, but you never hold on to the previous day. If you have a bad day, you don't hold on to it. The day when you wake up the next day, you make your fresh bed, is a new beginning. It's a new day to progress forward. You're always trying to strive to do better than the next person. Further education is always of fundamental importance here. Within my business, I'm never going to be the smartest, but I can sure be in the top 100, I can sure be in the top 10. It's upon myself and my attitude to be structurally sound, but also at the same time for me to want to progress further. So therefore, for me, the key attitudes are good health will also equal good wealth.
How do you assess the progress and success of the project?
Now, every project is different. Every scenario is different. No two projects are the same, so therefore you have to keep your wits about you. Opening one business and opening a second, neither two will be the same. It takes me back to a reference that I know, whereas if, for example, we were both put in a room together and we were given a set of ingredients, now both were identical, even down to the measurements. If you and I were both to make this, say for example, soup, our soups wouldn't taste the same. The way that I would develop it would be different than the way that you would. Now the reason why is because every different scenario has to be assessed differently. For example, if you liquidize onions, I may liquidize it for a minute, you may liquidize it for 2 minutes. Therefore the growth, the development of that will be different. What I'm trying to say is, with a business, and any startup business, when you're passionate about something, you need to be on top of it. You need to be overseeing things. Now, I remember when I opened up my business, I didn't do the 9 to 5. I did every hour under the sun. I didn't believe in days off. I was there for 6 months every day. I was the first one there, last to leave. But I made it a point for my staff to be able to see this, knowing that I had passion in what I was doing. If you don't have passion in it, there's never going to be any success. So therefore, you have to relay that onto your staff, into your employees. If you do not show that you have aspirations for it to grow, it will never grow itself. This question is very personal to any self-employed person, because you will have highs and lows like any other scenario. When you ask the question of how do you assess the progress and success of a project, a lot of the time is being there, being able to visually see. If you have, for example, a business and no one's there, you will be able to then at this point be able to tell that no one's actually sitting there. You will know the business is not doing well. So therefore, you have to implement other scenarios. How do you do it? Now, we're lucky we're in the 21st century here where we can do hashtags, we can network, we're able to use a social media device.
What would you do if an unexpected expense arose in the startup of your business, and how would it impede the progress of your initial plan?
Well, that's a really good question. As a new business owner or a startup business owner, unexpected expenses are always expected. Excuse the irony of it. The reason why is when you set up a business, you don't always put all your money into one basket. You don't stretch yourself to a limit. To give you an example, if you were purchasing a unit and the unit was 5,000 square feet, but you knew that you could purchase this unit at 5,000 square feet but use all your money, do you go ahead with it, or do you pick one at 2,500 square feet? knowing that you're able to manage it comfortably. Now, what makes a shrewd businessman is being able to see the progression and the flow of something further. For me, I would probably never pick 2,500, but I would pick one at 5,000. Now, you may ask me why this causes the concern of an unexpected expense. If, for example, if I can't pay the rent or the mortgage or the rates, I could cause myself into harm. The trick is to be smarter than the next person. With the unit being 5,000 square feet, nowhere does it say that I can't half the unit. So I can start off with 2,500 and give another 2,500 to someone else. So it's their headache. Once my business is fully developed and growth, once a lease finishes, I take over the full unit and I'm able to then subsidise everything that I need to within that place. So therefore I'm not out-pocketing myself. Whereas if I started with a smaller unit, what would happen is I would take on too much work that I wasn't able to cope with. So therefore I would heed my aspect of business, so therefore my growth will be a lot more smaller. The growth rate will be more difficult in the sense that I won't be able to progress further. With the bigger place, you're able to then have the chance to grow further. But again, it all implements with yourself. The whole point of wanting to succeed is the wanting for more. So therefore, taking that risk is always going to be a chance. But again, being smarter than the next person will always help you there.
What is one thing you want to tell young people who want to start a business to motivate and inspire them?
Now that's really easy. It comes from passion, it comes from drive, it comes from want. If you want to be successful and you want to do something for yourself, or you feel that you want to achieve something, go out and do it. Don't sit back, don't sit in the house, don't sit in your 9 to 5 chair. Allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to want. For me, I remember through high school I had a yearbook, as a lot of people did, and my quotation on the yearbook, there was comical ones. You had people who was like, one of my best friends, his quotation was, if there's no cookies in the jar, who ate all the cookies? Now, unfortunately, he was a comical person. His life has not progressed any further. He lives the 9 to 5. My quotation was, my biggest weakness is my biggest strength, because it meant that if I felt that I could do something, I couldn't believe I could do it. I always believed that I could do better, want to do better, so therefore I always try to do better. It all comes back down to the fact that when you wake up in the morning, you want to do it for yourself, for the loved ones around you. You don't go out to work 9 to 5 to have gritty hands, to have cuts on your fingers, or just to make ends meet. You want to have a good and comfortable life. The only way you can is to be successful is to go out and do it yourself. Be passionate in what you do. Have that drive, have that nerve, have that willingness. Take the risk that you need to take in order for you to progress further. The only advice that I can give someone to inspire them is to do something that you are passionate about. If you do not enjoy what you do, you will never progress forward. That there is factual. If you're in a job just now that you're doing that you actually don't want to go to, you dread come Monday morning, you will never amount to anything in that firm, in that group, in that company, because your willingness is not there. When I wake up every day, I look forward to putting on a fresh shirt. I look forward to putting on a suit jacket. I look forward to meeting new people every day, because I know that I can influence them. I can make them change. I can make them want to believe. We have different groups that we went to. I was lucky enough to be invited back to my school to give a talk. The reason was I did fairly well at school. They invited us back to the school and kind of asked us, how our life progressing. They asked me further back to the school to give a seminar because they felt like I did really, really well. My personal opinion is be passionate in what you want to do. Progress further. Have the knowledge and don't be scared to ask for help. Asking for help is one of the best things that you can do. Asking for advice, but never feel that you think that you're better than the next person, and you'll do well.